Hello everyone, this is Victor for PhoneArena, and today we're taking a look at the very interesting HTC J. First, we have to make it clear, this is not the HTC J Butterfly, the 5-inch 1080p monster phone that you might have heard of. Second, it features 4G WiMAX connectivity for Asia. But don't worry, it is offered internationally as well as a more ordinary 3G smartphone, and that's how we'll look at it. With a 4.3-inch QHD screen, a dual-core Snapdragon S4 chip, and a fairly large battery, it stands its ground. What's even more interesting is the fact that it has some level of waterproofing and the funky red paint job among other colors. Got you interested? Let's see if this would be enough for the HTC J to win our hearts. The HTC J is a well-crafted device, built with just the right proportions for convenient one-handed use. It feels sturdy as a waterproof device should be and still manages to retain elegant looks. Waterproofing it is what force protective lids on the 3.5mm jack and the micro USB charging port. Both fit snugly but are a bit hard to take off. The phone is made out of plastic with a glossy back. It is a very nice plastic, but still plastic. Coming in a selection of white, red and black, the device is 0.37-inch thick and weighs 4.83 ounces. No engineering design wonders here, but nothing uncomfortable either. HTC doesn't use on-screen buttons and instead goes with 3 capacitive ones in the bottom. This frees up the display and leaves it all for more functional use. And speaking of the screen, we have a 4.3-inch OLED display with QHD resolution. That is 540 by 960 pixels, coming at a density of around 256 ppi. Images look very detailed on this display, but if you are a perfectionist, it would be possible to discern some individual pixels. The screen is not Retina after all, and it uses the pentile matrix with less subpixels than a standard RGB display. OLED also means a slight hint of blue instead of perfect white on the screen, but in return you get deeper blacks. Viewing angles are good, colors don't wash out at an angle, and even under direct sunlight it is not impossible to operate the handset. The HTC J runs Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich with HTC Sense 4.0. It is very smooth. Sense has grown in the right direction, becoming lighter and better as it matured to 4.0. You get plenty of customization options with various themes, quick access to 4 apps straight from the lock screen, a plethora of widgets including the signature HTC weather clock, and one of the best camera interfaces around. The phone is powered by 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 with Adreno 225 graphics and 1 GB of RAM. The S4 chip might be dual-core, but it delivers virtually the same performance as the quad-core Tegra 3. It is also more power efficient and heats up less. It scored high marks on standard Android benchmarks, maxing out the graphics result on such a benchmark as Nanomark. What this means is simple. Most, if not all, games only could run without a stutter. The device has 16 gigs of built-in memory with only around 10 of them available to the end user, while luckily internal storage is expandable via micro SD cards. Sense comes with the Sense browser, which is a solid performer. It supports Adobe Flash, text reflow, and is very snappy. Its perks include a reading mode that strips pages off ads, images, and basically leaves you intimately with the text, as well as incognito mode for your private browsing needs. Photography is one of the stronger points of the HTC J. It has an 8-megapixel rear camera with a single LED flash. HTC incorporates a dedicated image chip that speeds up everything camera related. It takes less than a second from starting the camera app to capturing an actual image, and Sense has myriads of options for image enthusiasts. HDR mode brings the best of contrasting landscapes. Burst shot mode captures as many as 99 consecutive images in an instant, and basic image editing options and even effects are built in, so you don't need to dig into Instagram and other apps. Everything is done on board. Actual image quality is good with plentiful detailed wide dynamic range and spot-on white balance. Colors are pumped up to look more vivid than they are in real life, but nothing over the top. Videos are recorded at 1080p at around 30 frames per second, and what's more interesting is the fact that you have both continuous autofocus and manual tap to focus in the camera while shooting video, which means that you can refocus on the go as you want. And this feature is not on that many phones. You can also capture still photos while recording video. On top of that, Sense brings slow motion video capture. Quality might be poor, but we just love having this option. everything starts to look much more interesting in slow motion. Up front, there is a 1.3 megapixel front camera for video chats and nothing more. The S4 chip powering the device and the vivid colors on the 4.3-inch screen make for a great media experience. The device easily plays through all sorts of videos. On the audio side of things, playback is crisp and clean via the rear speaker, but lacks a bit in volume. The J comes with Beats audio, and this means that when you plug in your headphones, you can get an extra bass pump, which is nice. When it comes to call quality, the earpiece is loud and clear, and our callers heard our voice in its natural tones with no side noises creeping in. The device features an 1110 mAh battery that easily gets you through a day of use and goes well into the second. The HTC J might feature WiMAX for Asian markets, but we're looking at it from an international perspective as a simple 3G phone, and it stands its ground. The device is waterproof, and that makes it interesting. It is convenient for one-handed use. It is snappy, the camera software and Sense is outstanding, and the camera itself is nice. The QHD pen-tile screen, however, is a bit of a downer. It is not too bad, but still it's hard to recommend it over 720p displays dominating the market. The glossy plastic also won't be everyone's cup of tea. And if you value looks above all, the thinner and lighter sibling of the J, the 1S, definitely looks more tempting with its aluminum unibody. If you don't obsess over looks and value functionality, we're confident that the HTC J's strong points outweigh its few negatives, and we don't think you'd regret buying it. For more details, check out PhoneArena.com for our full review of the HTC J, and as always, thank you for watching.